Hi, Fashion Dolls. It is Transformation Tuesday, January 7th, and welcome to an all new episode of Style by Stevie. Our very special guest today is a model, image consultant, and stylist, and he's been on the show previously before. Now, joining me today, we have Travis J. Winters, and we are going to be getting into some men's fashions. Now, as you all know, Sunday was the Golden Globe Awards, and there were some best dressed men out there on the red carpet representing. All right. So we're going to get into that in today's show. So without further ado, please welcome back to the Dollhouse for his second interview, Travis Winters. Uh oh, it says you're not able to join, Travis. You might have to come in on the other page and see if it'll work that way. But overall, how are you guys doing? How is everyone doing? I hope you guys are doing just as awesome as I am. Do y'all like today's look? I told y'all we was gonna do something a little bit different than what I would normally do. So today's look is called A Night in Paris, and you see around the waist, it can be worn as a dress or it can be worn as a coat. And I decided to wear it as a dress. I absolutely love this jacket, and I figured this look is a little bit different and outside of my norm than what I would normally wear, but I hope you guys love it as much as I do for this season, season 19. Hi, K Tooks. Make sure you guys please go and follow my brother K Tooks. Please go and check him out. He is coming on the show this month. And I have some great news to tell y'all. No sick days, y'all. No sick days. Isn't that nice? No sick days. Zero. 6 days. 6 days. None. I have been giving y'all these interviews consecutively and no sick days, y'all. So thank y'all so much at home for your love, your support, for everything. So without further ado, let's get into some men's fashion trends for winter 2025. And we're going to review some of the looks from the red carpet at the Golden Globes Sunday. So for my fellas, this is for you because I know a lot of you are like, well, she caters to mostly women, which I do. But I can't forget about my fellas. So for my fellas at home, I want y'all to come into the new year 2025 in style as well too. All right? So my guest today is a stylist, image consultant, and model. And I'm super excited to have him back. So without further ado, let's welcome back to the Dollhouse, Travis Winters. Hopefully it works this time. If not, then I don't mind starting a new live. There
Hey, Miss Stevie, can
we
you see me or
are.
hear me?
Yes, I can hear you and I can see you. Welcome back to the show, stranger.
Thank you. Welcome. Thanks for having me back.
It is such a pleasure to have you back. So happy 2025. We're like at the second part of this new year, new month. So happy 2025. How has 2025 been for you so far? And how did you ring in the new year? How did you celebrate the new year?
Okay, well, first of all, Happy New Year to Miss Stevie, to her followers, to her fans, to all those that are watching us live. Thank you all for your love and for your support, and thank you, Miss Stevie, for welcoming me back on your show. Sorry, I had a little technical difficulty because I was trying to connect to my iPad, but thank God we were able to switch that over. So I am live with you guys now, so I'm glad to be here. So to answer your first question, um, this year has been great so far. I'm alive and well.
Yes.
I am blessed and highly favored, and I just don't say that as a quote, but I say it because it is real in my life, and God has been good to me and my family. He's allowed me to still be here, alive and well in 2025. We brought in the new year, my family and I watching our watch night service at home virtually, because that was, for us, it was a work
Yeah.
day for us, so it was a long day. And we typically don't like to be out at what too late at night, especially around the holidays and New Year's Eve, with so much going on. But we know we're still covered
Yeah.
by God regardless. But we end up watching the watch night service at home. We brought in the new year together in our home as a family. We got on our knees and prayed. into the new year. And that's what we normally do traditionally with my church and also as a family. We try to bring in the new year together with prayer that God will cover us and will protect us for the new year and all the many blessings that He has in store for us. So we had a very quiet New Year's Eve and also New Year's Day at home. So we had an opportunity to spend some quality time with each other, which we don't normally get a chance to do as much. So it's been great so far. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. And speaking of celebrations and spending time,
Mhm.
your fraternity just celebrated its anniversary.
Yes.
My co-host Johnny is also a Nupe,
Okay.
so he's a part of the South Carolina division. So for
Okay.
my fellas out there, for my Nupes, for my Q dogs, what was it like to be able to celebrate in your fraternity, your brotherhood?
Well, I have to say happy Founders Day to all of my Kappa Alpha Psi fraternity brothers out there, all the Nupes that are in the house. I would definitely like to meet up with your team member, Johnny, so we could connect. But yes, we just celebrated our Founders Day on January 5th, 114 years of achievement. We were established in 1911. And again, that was just on Sunday, so I didn't get an opportunity to fellowship with my brothers that evening because I was just so busy trying to get things ready for the week, including your show. So I actually just stayed at home, spent time with the family, very quiet, relaxed, send out some shout outs, some text messages, made some calls. But, I was just focused on the week and as far as lining up things that I need to do professionally for myself. So it was a really good Founders Day. Wish I would have had an opportunity to meet up with some of my brothers to fellowship. My line brothers are all out of state. So we'll get an opportunity maybe to do that later in the year and celebrate. So our anniversary is coming up in May. So it'll still be a good year for us.
Yes, and when I seen all of the black men, all of your brothers in different parts of the world, I think Roland Martin, so
Yeah.
many others that are
Right.
part of fraternities, of brotherhoods, just celebrate and pour into each other. So I had to ask because I was like, it's such a good feeling to be able to celebrate and kick off the new year, celebrating each other, pouring into each other more than ever.
Yes.
When we all need to be celebrating each other and pouring into each other because I mean, we just lost President Jimmy Carter, and
I
today
know.
was his service. So, I
Mm.
mean, give people their flowers while they're here
Absolutely.
now in the year. Like he lived to be 100 years old, y'all,
Yes.
and that is something that I preach on a daily. Make sure that you are pouring into your loved ones, your
Mhm.
significant others, your family, all of that. Make sure that you are pouring into them because you never know. Time is uncertain, especially
Right.
nowadays.
Right. Absolutely. I do agree. We have to make it and more intentional to stay in contact with each other, especially since COVID. That was a reality check for me, not knowing when will the next time you may or may not see somebody. So it's very important to and also relevant, that we stay connected with each other, whether it's, sending a text message, making a phone call, going by to visit, checking on your loved ones, your family, your friends, whoever it may be. There's a lot going on in society, as we all know, as we're embarking
Yes.
on a new year, new administration, and so forth. We have to do a reality check to make sure everybody is still good, you know, and you know it's okay if you're not okay, and we have to be learn to be comfortable saying that. If you're not okay, let somebody know that you're not okay, so that we can love on each other, pray for one another, and also encourage each other as well.
Absolutely. I made that face because Travis brought it up. I didn't bring it up. Y'all know how I feel.
No, we're not
But
going to go there, but
yeah,
we know what we are about to face for the next 4 years. But this is not our first rodeo. We are resilient people, and we'll continue to be blessed. We'll continue to achieve and succeed. We already know what the game plan is. We have to make sure that we are on point and on guard and do everything that we are capable of doing to make sure things are done in decency and in order.
absolutely. And I'm gonna say this. We resilient. You
Yeah.
you said it best. Resilient. It's survival. This is not new to
No,
us. And the
absolutely.
thing about it is we all have to make sure that we are looking out for each other and forming community and more
Yes.
so being vigilant, head on
Hmm.
swivel, because there's so many things that are coming out, like you said, that's going on in the world.
Yes,
But make sure that you guys are looking out for one another.
absolutely.
Loved ones, family members, and all and so much more.
Yes, I agree.
All right. So off of that, let's get to a
Yes.
lighter note. Now we are in the new year of 2025. And so much has happened as far as fashion, and I'm super excited to
Yes.
see what this year is going to bring along. So, for you, Travis, what are you predicting as far as men's fashion trends goes into the new year of 2025?
Well, I had an opportunity just to preview the Golden Globes from Sunday. You know, I
Yes.
just went online and did a search of the red carpet to see who was wearing what they were wearing, both men and the women. And I have to say, I was very impressed with everyone for the most part, of their outfits and their styles and their fashions. I can't really say that there was one particular person that I didn't really care for as far as their outfit or the designs. I thought everyone was very elegant, very regal, very sophisticated, glamorous, both the men and the women. And so I feel that for as we're coming into the year 2025, I see a spirit of excellence. Now we're, over COVID, even though it's still here, people are
Yeah.
going outside. People are becoming more sociable. They're feeling more comfortable going out to gatherings and parties and social events. And people are excited. They're ready to get dressed, because we've all been home for the last couple of years, including myself, working from home or just having to stay home, being quarantined, wearing our loungewear, being very relaxed and very comfortable. People are now ready to get back outside, get back out into society to mingle, network, and socialize. So people want a reason to get dressed and dress up, So they're looking for their gowns, they're looking for the tuxedos, they're looking for the sport jackets, they're looking for the fly gear and wear that's out there. So I'm excited for 2025 because I've been really impressed looking at not only on social media, but just in TV, different shows that are coming out. People are really dressed. I mean, top of the line.
Yeah.
Whichever show you watch, whatever your favorite is, there's some type of fashion, some type of style that's showing excellence, that's showing glamour, that's showing something that's regal. Um, People are taking more emphasis and they're paying more attention to what they wear, how they're wearing it, and they care about how they feel and how they look in their clothes. So I'm impressed. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to seeing all the other new designs and fashions that come out because we know that fashion is a cycle. Whatever goes out eventually comes back in a couple of years. So we're starting to see the bell bottoms. We're starting to see the flare bottoms, come back in. You still have your slim fit. You still have your skinny jeans and your skinny pants. But now it seems that there's more variety and it's more inclusive, for everyone, no matter your height, no matter your size, no matter your weight. There's clothes that fit everyone. Whether you're shopping online, whether you're going to department stores, you name it. There's so many options available now for everyone that there is no reason why you can't be like the best dressed at whatever event you go to.
Absolutely. And from the Golden Globe Awards, we've seen a variety of colors that Pantone, I'm looking at Pantone right now. Pantone has done a red carpet recap from the 2025 Golden Globe Awards, which was Sunday.
Mhm.
And the color that I chose it for a reason, which was Lavender Fog. Dwayne The Rock Johnson understood the
Yes.
assignment. I love to see men in
Yes.
color. And it doesn't, regardless of any season, any time of the year, any month. It's amazing. You always have to include some sort of pop of
Hmm.
color into your life. So
Absolutely.
the color is lavender fog, and it's almost like the color of my jacket that I'm wearing today,
Hmm.
which is like a very soft pastel lavender and just a hint of gray. So it's absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
And see other men take on the trend as well too. You have Viola Davis who wore the same dress that she wore back in 2024 last year, again with a different hairstyle, a different everything, and
It
still
was
looked
beautiful.
incredible. The color is called Midnight Sky, and it is a black, very seductive black, and she looks amazing overall. I call her the Woman King.
Yes.
And then next one we have is Kate Blanchett. Of course, you can't go wrong. You got when I think of that glamour gold, because the color is called glamour gold, I think of champagne.
Hmm.
Popping
Yes.
champagne. into the new season, and she looks regal, as Travis said, and elegant. Um, Zendaya, we cannot talk about the Golden Globes and not talk about Zendaya.
Mhm.
Zendaya always delivers.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
I must say about her because La Roche is just genius
Hmm.
to be able to put her in all of these varieties of fashions and styles, and for her to be able to get away with it because she has a model built body. She's
Right.
very tall, top to bottom. So seeing her in this beautiful custom Louis Vuitton number and walking, and then when she turned, the dress move, I was like, oh my God, okay.
Yeah.
Vogue posted it first, and people went crazy. And of course, the classic 1950s bob cut looks great on her. She always looks great. But
Yes.
what drove me crazy was her Met Gala
Mhm.
look. Now, you guys know that she was one of the co-chairs for the Met Gala in 2024, and it was custom John Galliano. Um, Amazing.
Mhm.
The peacock, the thin eyebrows, she looked incredible. So for 2025, I'm predicting more color.
Yeah.
More color is definitely a
Right.
must.
And I
Um,
and I was going to say that, Miss Stevie, for men, especially men,
yeah,
we have to learn not to be afraid of colors, because we're so traditional and we feel that we can only wear dark colors like black or blue or brown, gray, and those are staples that we should definitely have, in our wardrobe for men. But I always let men know that don't be afraid of colors. Obviously, you want to make sure you have the right or wear the right color that complements your skin tone and your complexion. But there's nothing wrong with putting on a yellow sport jacket or maybe a mint green sport jacket, even if it's not a sport jacket, but just maybe pop it with a different color tie
yeah,
if you're going to wear a basic black or a navy blue. It's nothing wrong with putting on a color pocket square just to give it a pop and to make it a statement. So I always try to tell my clients, don't be afraid to step outside the box. You don't have to look like everybody, and you shouldn't look like everybody. I feel that style and fashion is in individuality, where you can allow to be yourself and express yourself and be you. So, you don't have to follow the trends, and you don't have to follow the styles that are going on. You find out what works for you, what works best for you, what looks best on you, and then you go with it. And don't be afraid to just cross the line a little bit. Just be a little daring, maybe a little edgy, with your swag and still be fly. Like give it a try, and you never know how many compliments you might receive because of that certain color that may bring out your eyes or maybe bring out your skin tone or your features. But it can work if you know how to put it together.
absolutely. 100%, 100%. And I'm looking at my Pinterest right now. Y'all, I have over 985 pins.
Yeah,
So many different looks.
yeah,
So make sure you guys are following my Pinterest. You guys can see it right here.
yeah.
There's so many different looks.
All right.
So I've done so many. You guys have to always document what you wear. Fashion is
Hmm.
about freedom of expression. And the late Alexander McQueen, God bless his soul, he
Hmm.
said that art is to evoke emotion.
Hmm.
So I'm glad that some of my fashion, some of the times have people feeling a certain type of way. And I'm referring to my mom.
Yeah.
And I'll tell y'all why. Because sometimes I'll put on something. She's just like, Jesus, that skirt is short. Like,
Hmm.
or a dress and it has a slit in the back. And she was like, that's too much leg showing. But I'm like, I'm a risk taker. Fashion is about taking risks, it's about pushing the envelope and doing things that are outside of your norm. So
Right.
for me,
Right.
I love to be daring. I love the drama. I
Right.
love stepping out of the norm and shocking people. There's always a shock factor.
Right.
Step outside of what you are normally doing. Whereas season 17, before I was more so, how can I say it? It was more so on the seductive side, but it was also a mix of intergalactic as well too. For this season, I said platinum, just gray. But this season is about being this elegant, go for vintage, go for a mix of things. So it's like a burrito
Right.
of all of these different elements of fashion. And that's what it should be about.
Right.
So for my out there, don't be afraid to incorporate color into your um your wardrobe. Houndstooth, that classic black and white.
Yes.
Remember
Yes.
the black and white suit that I wore that you guys were talking about It was actually shorts and then it was a blazer. And I made it work. And I had
Yeah.
the curly hair. This is when I did my interview with J Dot. This is last year back in 2024. So if you guys go back and look at the interview, you know which outfit I was talking about. I've worn so many, but altogether 985 pins.
Wow.
And this look today that I'm wearing was one of those pins. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
could create a whole lookbook. Like Rihanna has a big book that has like I think 1,000 pages in it, and I have it. It's heavy. So you go through and you'll see all of her looks, all of her on stage performance, costumes, all of that, and so much
Yeah.
more. So you pull inspiration from even the most places.
Right.
And
And I
that's
was going to
why
say Pinterest is definitely a good tool to use. If you're looking for ideas, if you're looking for suggestions as far as what to wear, how to wear it, different styles, different colors, you can get a lot of ideas. And you can actually incorporate a lot of different styles and make it unique just for yourself. So that is definitely one good tool to use. And then I will also, let people know that whatever your feature is that complements you, whether it's your lips, whether it's your eyes, your legs, or your hands, wear something that's going to complement your eyes, the color of your eyes or your lips, something that's going to bring you out, and you don't have to be too edgy. You don't have to be raunchy. You can still do it with class, still look elegant, still look very handsome, very polished without giving too much. Sometimes less is more, but it also depends on your body type. It also depends on your height and your weight and so forth. But you can use all those things to incorporate your own style, your own unique, look that you have for yourself. But you can also just take a piece of different pieces from different people and then find what best works best for you because everything is not for everybody. And I always say that, but you can definitely find something that is definitely just for you.
absolutely, absolutely. I see you, Mama. Thank you for that check mark. I'm glad y'all love it. I'm glad y'all
Thank
love
you.
it. I'm glad y'all love it. That's exactly what I wanted for today's show because I know a lot of people, as it pertains to coming into their own for the new year, what is it? New year, new you. So
Absolutely.
going into this year, 2025, for this season, I want you guys to go into it boldly,
Mhm.
confidently. Do something that you wouldn't normally do. And my mother is starting to experiment with color. She'll ask me, what can I put with this? Not everything necessarily has to be matchy
Right,
matchy.
right.
And we're trying to get out of that. So I try, even as it pertains to hair color, as it pertains to makeup, as it pertains to aesthetic, because I consult with professionals before I do anything with my hair. There's
Mhm.
never a moment where my hair is not in place or intact. Name one interview. I want y'all to name one interview. This hair has always been on point, makeup, everything. I always consult with a professional, a licensed cosmetologist on okay. And they're not going to tell you what they put in your hair, but 9 times out of 10, they're just like, okay, if I tell you, I'd have to kill you. But
Mhm.
it looks so good, and you
Right.
just want to know the secret, what's in the
Yeah.
sauce that they used on you. But
Right.
yeah, over time, it also ties into your look. It ties into fashion as well too. So
Right.
it's important that we take time and just go through and pull inspiration from somewhere. And I was just telling my guests this not too long ago. I was telling Billy this last week when we kicked off the season premiere. I said I pull inspiration from Vogue magazine, Harper's Bazaar, of course, Pinterest. You
Mhm.
can find inspiration in the most unique places.
Right.
So
I agree definitely with you. And in addition, what I want to say to the people in your audience is that and I know for some people are colorblind. I have a client that is colorblind. I have people that don't know how to put outfits together and put fits together and different looks together, and it's very challenging for them. And that's where I come in as a fashion stylist and an image consultant. And my suggestion and my advice to your audience out there is that if you're uncomfortable putting outfits and putting your wardrobes together, don't be afraid to reach out to a personal stylist or fashion consultant, such as myself, to ask them to help assist you to put your wardrobe together and put different looks and outfits together for you, whether it may be for work, whether it may be for a date night, whether it may be for church or any special occasion. Don't be afraid to ask. It could even be your best friend, somebody that you know. Ask them to come into your closet and look through your wardrobe and help pick out a couple looks and outfits that you might not have thought would look good together
mhm,
because you weren't able to think or see it for yourself because you're in it. But you may need somebody that's from the outside to come in and look at your wardrobe and look at different looks and things that you have, and help you coordinate those outfits that you need. So, I say that to everybody. It's not a plug for me, but as a stylist, I'm always willing to help my potential clients and clients that I have, with their wardrobe consultings, makeovers, whatever they need. Don't be afraid to ask. And if you have an issue or challenge with the color or patterns and so forth, I always welcome questions, and I will always give my honest opinion and advice, what may work for you and what I think will not work for you, but don't be afraid to ask.
Don't come to me because I'm gonna have you in all sorts of colors, and I'm gonna tell you why. I just love drama. I love color, and growing up with siblings, me and my brother have two different styles. Me and my mom were in the store shopping, trying to find him a shirt to wear. I said, he's very simplistic. He likes a baseball jacket, like the baseball jackets the baseball players would
Hmm.
wear. That snap, that button up, very simple, but just a plain t-shirt. She said, just a plain t-shirt. I said, yeah. He's minimalistic. He
Hmm.
doesn't like the glitz, the glamour, the
Right.
whole nine like I would. But everybody has their own personality. I've realized that growing up with siblings as well too. Four brothers, two sisters, and everybody has their own individual sense of style. And at one point, I was like, nope, I'm not going to wear khaki pants. I'm not going to wear red. But then my mom got me to explore, and that's when I started developing my own sense of style of what I wanted to wear. So
Right.
try it. You never know.
Right. Now, for me, for example, I had an issue with slim fit. The just slim fit jeans, slim fit pants,
Right.
dress shirts, slim fit, they were, designers were starting to go into slim fit years ago. And I had a hard time just finding regular fit. And so by default, it forced me to have to start wearing slim fit. I started losing weight as well. And so ironically, slim fit was starting to come in, and I couldn't find anything that wasn't slim fit. I was uncomfortable at first because I didn't really feel comfortable wearing it. I thought it might be too tight and just be too uncomfortable as a man. But eventually, I learned to love it and realized how it made me look leaner, it made me look slimmer, and it also made me look taller. So you have to find ways that are going to complement your body type. If you're trying to go for a certain look, if you want to look a little taller, if you want to look a little thinner, don't be afraid to step outside the box. Which means you might have to do a whole new, wardrobe makeover, and replace some of the outfits that may be dated, that may be out of style and just don't fit you the same way they used to. So, as much as some people may not be willing to, change into a different style or a different look, designers and the manufacturers are going or leaning towards that way. Sometimes you may eventually have to give in, but not completely lose
Oh yeah.
yourself within those clothes. You still have your own individuality, but we have to learn how to be comfortable being uncomfortable until eventually we start feeling good and we start receiving the compliments from other people, letting us know how good that looks. And then that gives you that encouragement. You say, you know what? Let me just give it another try. Let me buy those slim fit pants or that slim fit dress shirt and see how it looks. And you'll find that it does actually contour to your body. It will actually complement your biceps or whatever it is, whatever features that you may have that may not have been shown because before the clothes were too baggy or too loose, so you weren't able to see those features. So you can do it in decency and order, like I said, and still look good and not uncomfortable.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So that would be my and Travis's suggestion as well too. Um, Consult with an image consultant or stylist. And if some stores have personal shoppers, go
Yes.
ahead. Like Nordstrom's
Yes.
and so many others. Don't be afraid to consult with a personal image consultant or stylist or
I
personal shopper
agree.
who know your personality
Yes.
and pull from inspiration from certain places. I
Yes.
told you guys inspiration for this season 19 when I kicked it off, which was January 1st. I said a lot of the fashions were going to be inspired by Clueless, the
Hmm.
film Clueless.
Hmm.
Amber, Cher, and Dion, they all wore color. So I've been binge watching Clueless during the Christmas holiday break, and I'm just like, okay, how can I do this? I
Hmm.
don't want to steal their style,
Right.
but I want to incorporate just enough color to the point where it's perfect for me.
Right.
And I went through and I flipped through some Vogue magazines, went to Harper's Bazaar as well too, and I found inspiration. Even in the most unique places, you can find inspiration for fashion. So
Yes.
don't be afraid to step outside of what you would normally do,
Yes.
because each season, the next upcoming season, and the more and more and more I continue to do interviews, the looks are not going to be the same. It's going to be different.
Yes. And
So
yeah. And Stevie, just to piggyback on that, my family and I watch Bel Air, which is on Peacock, and I don't know if anybody else
okay,
watches it. But that entire cast is phenomenal, not only in acting, but as far as their wardrobe and their outfits they wear. I mean, you're talking about black excellence. That is like black excellence to like the 100,000th. I don't know who their stylists are, who the designers are, but everybody is sharp, everybody is fly. Every season and every show that they come on, there's always some inspiration I can get from one of the, characters, or especially the male characters that are on there. I mean, they are sharp and just unbelievable, and it just makes me want to take my wardrobe and my style up to another level. And one of the highlights that I had last year in December, I happened to be in Miami for the Black Men's Wear Flash Mob, and Jimmy Akabulu, who plays Jeffrey on Bel Air, was there. And I mean, this brother is bad. I mean, he is sharp, just like he is on TV. He is the most humble, down to earth, nicest, kindest guy. But I'm just sitting there and I'm observing his suit, and it was so well fitted, and tailored just for him. And it's like, this brother is bad. So, like you, I get my inspiration a lot of times from TV shows, from magazines, and things that I see on social media from different celebrities and different designers and artists and so forth. So it's always great to have that inspiration, because we feel like we've kind of lost, our younger generation has kind of lost
yeah,
their style and lost their self of being excellent, or their self pride. But we're seeing it that we are still dressing. We're still dressing like our parents and our grandparents, and it's coming back. We're wearing suits, we're
yeah,
wearing dresses, we're wearing skirts. And we're wearing it. I mean, and dressing it so well, so elegantly, that we can't be ignored. What I mean, we make a presence as soon as we walk in the room by the way we're dressed. Your first impression sometimes is your last impression. So you want to go in there, on point, wherever you're going, whether it's work, whether it's church, into a meeting. You want to be dressed top to the nine. It's important.
absolutely. And first impressions last a lifetime.
Hmm.
People will remember that.
Yes.
So it's important that we continue to make a lasting impression. And that was something that my mother always told me as well too. When you go into a room, you make them remember who you are.
Right.
You leave that lasting impression. Your personality alone is amazing,
Yes.
but your style is your signature. So
Yeah.
remember that as you head into the year 2025.
Yeah, I told you before that my father was a pastor, so I grew up as a PK in the church all my life. And one thing that he always, told us, and I still remember it to this day, is like when you leave this house, you represent us, you represent the family. So for me, it was all about perfection. I
Yeah.
had to make sure that my shoes would shine, that my collar was buttoned and my tie was straight, and my pants were on my waist. I couldn't make no mistakes. There was no room for error. So even to this day, when I go out, I take time to make sure that I'm on point before I leave the house, because you never know who's watching you, and who's paying attention to you, and who's looking up to you, and what kind of image you portray to them says a lot about how well you carry yourself and how well you're dressed when you leave out.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes.
So, Fashion Dolls, do we have any question for myself or Travis as far as fashion trends for 2025? We're now in the new year 2025. So, before you know it, Fashion Week will be here, New York Fashion Week, Paris Fashion Week, and the trends are going to change. They do not stay the same. So, each season, be prepared for it. So, right now,
Mhm.
it'll be spring, summer.
Yes.
During the summer, it will be fall, winter. So it's in reverse. You guys see what I'm
Hmm.
saying? When these designers put out their collections. So I couldn't tell you, I can't predict, but this is what we are expecting to see this year in 2025.
Yes.
A lot of different prints, a lot of different patterns. And just things you wouldn't normally see. A lot of history, as Travis just said, history repeats itself and it comes back. So you guys know that one of my favorite fashion eras is the 80s
Yeah.
because for women, the shoulders, the shoulder
Yes.
padding. Now we're seeing that same exact trend, and it
Coming back.
still hasn't left. It's still
Hmm.
here. It's here in 2024, and now it is still here in 2025. So that
Yeah.
over exaggerated shoulder padding is what I love. I love a power suit on a woman. I think it is amazing, and it shows that not only men can wear suits, but women we can too. You
Most
know,
definitely.
it's called a power suit. So
Yeah,
I a
absolutely.
perfect example would be our Vice President Kamala Harris. Another example would be who else wore a power suit? Oh my goodness. Janelle James. If you guys watch Abbott Elementary, she
Okay.
wore
Yes.
something where the shoulders were very structured and detailed. Cheryl Lee Ralph is another example.
Mhm.
So you see
And we
these
can't
women.
forget Kerry Washington when Scandal
Oh
was
yeah,
out. You know,
yeah.
like she was one of the best that could do it, you know, on TV at that time. You know, and she was wearing power suits as well. Yes, definitely.
So we're going to see a lot more of that. But again, fashion history repeats itself.
Hmm.
Whereas the trends you would see in the 90s and the 80s, they're all making a comeback. So it's important that we keep an eye on what's going on in the fashion world, the trends that are coming down the runway. Diane Carroll and Joan Collins. Oh, that's
Yes.
my girl. And I said that when I
Legends.
did my first interview with Travis.
Yes.
I said I love Diane Carroll because at the time I had curly. I wore this. What did I wear when we did our first evening? I had an evening gown on, and it
Yes,
was
he did.
blue,
Might have been silver.
green,
Okay.
curly hair, and it had silver in it. And it
Yeah.
was an homage to Diane
Right.
Carroll. So yes.
Absolutely. I agree.
So Chrissy, you've been paying attention. You have been watching, my love.
Good.
You know that's my girl. I love Diane Carroll. If not her, if we want to talk about mixing sensuality with femininity and just being classy, I
Hmm.
would have to say Eartha Kitt. Eartha
All
Kitt,
right.
the bombshell, like
Yes.
I mean, could pull off a sexy black dress. If not her, then Dorothy Dandridge. So
Mhm.
these two women are also my inspiration as well
Right.
too. I love Rita Hayworth, love
Mhm.
Marilyn Monroe. So it's
Yeah.
important that we go back in time and look at these icons and
Right.
their style. Watch
And then we
some of
have
their
our
films.
first lady, Michelle Obama. You know,
Oh yeah,
she's always doing it. You know what I mean? Consistently as well. You know what I mean? She's always giving you a different look. Um, and people are watching, they pay attention, you know, because they want to know who is she wearing and what is she wearing. And immediately it'll sell out. You know, you can't even get it online as fast as she puts it on. You know, so, you know, there's a lot of inspiration out there if you're paying attention, you know, and if you're looking for different styles, if you're looking for a different look, you know, it's definitely out there.
okay. Okay, Tori Anthony wants to know, can we talk about mixing patterns?
Yes.
So many are scared to mix patterns.
Yes, that's a good question. That Tori, thank you so much for asking that question. For me personally, I love mixing patterns with, say, plaids and paisleys
Oh yeah,
um, in different designs. It's all about how you put it together. It's not easy to do. You definitely may want to consult, you know, a fashion stylist or image consultant such as myself if you're not sure or shy about putting patterns together and how to put patterns together correctly, um, so that it's not clashing, it's not doing too much because you don't want to look too busy. You know, you want it to flow with the patterns and with the colors. So if you're not sure about doing it or if you're scared to do it, speak to me, you know, offline if you have any questions or you need some suggestions. But I can definitely help guide you and show you how to put patterns together to make it look very sophisticated, very elegant and stylish without looking like it's too crazy and you're just throwing, you know, patterns together
right.
and you don't know what you're doing. But it can be done. It's just a matter of knowing how to mix the patterns together properly and correctly with the suit, the tie, the shirt, and so forth.
And I also second that notion because it can be scary with mixing different prints and patterns. Like my mom, she will go down, she'll start with the jacket, she'll start with the top, the jacket, or the top that she's wearing, and then the pants, and then she'll go down to the socks. And she'll say, okay, do these socks match this? I don't wear socks. I love my stilettos. I love my pumps. I
Right.
wear socks or stockings. But I always start with, okay, what hair color should I wear with this? And I was kind of scared to do this one today. I was
Right.
kind of scared because I'm like, okay, how people gonna take it? It's like a periwinkle blue, and you got on a lilac trench coat dress. So how are you going to
Hmm.
do this?
Right.
And I said, just go ahead and just do it.
Mm.
Push the envelope. It's
Right.
something that is different.
Hmm.
So work your way
Yeah.
up. It can be
Right. And
scary with mixing
right.
different prints, patterns. It can be discouraging.
Right. And for me, the way I do it is like a canvas. So I normally would start, for me, it would normally start with a suit. So if it's a pinstripe suit or if it's a pattern suit, that's my canvas. I'll start with that. And then what I'll do is I'll work my way around that suit to try to find the right shirt or the right tie that's going to complement the pattern in that suit. And then depending on whether I'm working with the shirt first, I'll try to see if I can find the right shirt to go with that suit. And then once I have that, then I'll go in my closet and say, okay, what kind of tie can I put together? And everything doesn't have to be a pattern on top of a pattern on top of a pattern. You know, you could do a pattern underneath the pattern and then just do a solid tie, you know, or maybe do no tie and do a pocket square that's going to pop. So there's different variations and ways you can do it if you're interested in knowing how to mix patterns. But definitely reach out to me on my IG and also on Facebook, Tori, if you have any questions and you need some advice. I'll be definitely interested in assisting you.
Absolutely. Do we have any more questions for myself or Travis Fashion Dolls? We are talking Fashion 2025. We're now in a new year, and so much has shifted. We're now in a new year, a new era, and Fashion Week isn't even here yet. So go by what you see. It's more to fashion that meets the eye, and inspiration
Mhm.
is in so many different places. So make sure that you are going out here and finding that inspiration. All right. So before we wrap Fashion Dolls, Travis, what are some gems that you would like to give to people coming into the new year of 2025? Because this is the second week.
Mhm.
We're now in a new year, new start, new beginning. You've hit that reset button,
Yes.
and now you're having to regroup, strategize, put everything back in order for yourself
Okay.
collectively.
Yes. So at the end of each year, I usually ask God, what do you have for me for the next year?
Oh yeah.
You know, is it a scripture? Is it a word? Is it a theme? Something to go into the new year and start off with that. So last year was very challenging. You know, I had some ups and I had some downs. I had some disappointments. I had some victories, you know, both personally and both professionally. And I spent a lot of time helping others and taking care of others, whether it was family and whether it was friends. And I didn't do as much taking care of myself mentally, professionally, and personally as I probably should have. And so, you know, coming into this new year, I realized like I was glad that I had the opportunity to help other people and be of assistance to my family and friends and be there for them when they needed me, whether it was professionally or personally. But I felt like this year I needed to do something for me, you know, to concentrate more on myself.
Yeah.
Not to discredit anybody else or take anything away or my obligations and responsibilities away from anybody else that I'm responsible for, but I felt like I needed to do more for me. So the Lord gave me the word self, SELF. And I made that an acronym for being strategic, elevate, love, and focus. That is for me. And I realized that I need to do more of that for myself. You know, self care is very important, mental health is very important. And for
Yes.
me, I realized this year I have to be more strategic in the way that I do things and how I do things for myself. I want to elevate myself up to the next level. I have some up and coming things that are forthcoming this year that I'm praying about and speaking to in existence. And hopefully and prayerfully, those things will come into fruition for me professionally and also personally. I realize that I need to love more on myself and love on myself, pour more into myself. Not to say I don't love myself, but I need to appreciate Travis more. I need to love Travis more and give Travis what he needs because I'm not always going to get it from everybody else, unfortunately. When you think that you're going to get it from your family or from your friends, yes, they may love you, you know, and they may love you to a certain degree. But I have to learn how to love myself unconditionally, you know, and realize like I'm gracefully broken, I'm not perfect, but I have to learn how to love all parts of me. You know, the good, the bad, the indifferent, the areas that I need to work on and concentrate on and improve, and just become a better version of myself. So loving myself and loving more of myself, regardless of my flaws and shortcomings, it has to be essential. That has to be important for me to do that. I can't expect that, and I should not expect that from anyone else. I have to learn how to love myself first. So no matter what and who loves or doesn't love me and hates me, um, that it doesn't matter because at the end of the day, I know who I am. I know who God created me to be, and I'm going to love myself and love more of myself more often and more intentionally. And then focus, focusing on myself and things that I want to do professionally, as far as my full-time job, things that I want to do for my own personal business with the styling and image consulting and also modeling. I want to focus more on that, to seek out more opportunities and ways that I can find and avenues that I can find, um, areas where I want to be and go to the next level. Um, and so that's my mindset for this year itself. And I'm going to keep that acronym in the front of my mind and not in the back of my mind. Realize like I need to do each one of these things throughout this year in 2025 because I'm not going to go into 2025 the way 2024 was, you know. So I realize like I need to make some changes. In order for those things to change, it has to start with me. There's going to be certain expectations, that I'm going to have for myself and from others. There are going to be some boundaries that I need to set. Um, that I can't allow anything to hold me back and stop me from doing what I'm going to do. I'm going to continue to work hard, be, resilient. I'm going to be persistent. I'm going to be consistent in everything that I do. I want to go to the next level, in my life. And I'll be turning 56 this year. So, Lord willing, you know, it's time to do it, you know? And so I'm ready and I'm looking forward to this year.
And also, because that's something that I've been telling people about as well too. I just talked about it with Montria about self-love and making sure that you are pouring into yourself because you can't pour from an empty cup.
Absolutely.
But also going through and through everything that's going on, I want you guys to remember this. Growth through challenges. I want you guys to know this, and this is today's final thought. Adversity can be a catalyst for personal development and strength. So, with that being said, make sure, as Travis said, I'm seconding off of what he just said, which is self care. Make sure that you are aware. Make sure that you are pouring into yourself because from human nature, we give so much of ourselves to the world.
Mhm.
We're always helping, always nurturing, always providing, always caring, always thinking, always wanting the best for the next person. Make sure that you are pouring into yourself as well too because you can't pour from that empty cup. We give
Absolutely.
so much of ourselves to the world where we are literally burnt out, and I've found myself burnt out. Even
Hmm.
hosting this platform, there are days when I'm just like, I don't even want to get up out of bed. But through the grace of God, let me tell you what's one of my affirmations that I say when I get up in the morning. I'm surrounded by people who uplift me. And I
Hmm.
am reassured of that.
Yes.
That is God's will. I am surrounded by people who uplift me.
Yes.
And when you have people who uplift you and make you feel good about yourself, you're unstoppable.
Absolutely.
So remember that.
Yes.
Don't give up. Or more importantly, take that rest period if you need to. Take that self care period
Yes.
because in the end result is so worth it.
Yes. Absolutely. You know. And again, before we leave, I want to thank Miss Stevie once again for having me back on this show. I'm always excited and always looking forward to having a conversation, having a dialogue with you, on various topics. And if any of your members or viewers in the audience want more information on me, please follow me on Instagram. It's under Travis underscore J underscore Winters. And you can also find me on Facebook. The name of my business is called Unique Fashion and Image Consulting. That's YOUNIQUE, Fashion and Image Consulting. And the theme of Unique is creating a new you. And I know that we didn't touch on that because we spoke on that previously from the last interview.
Yeah.
But those that this may be your first time actually being introduced to me and knowing who I am. I do want you to know that I am a fashion stylist and image consultant and model. So I'm always open and looking forward to style and help dress anyone one that's looking for an upgrade, a wardrobe makeover, you're going to a special event or occasion and you have no idea what to wear and how to dress for the event or for the occasion, please reach out to me. I'll be more than willing to help assist and style you for your next event or even just for everyday wear, whether it's going into work. And no matter what your budget is and no matter who you are and where you are, I do virtual consulting online, Facebook, FaceTime, WhatsApp, you name it, Zoom. I have all those avenues and access available to me. So please reach out to me, or if you don't get my information, you can contact Miss Stevie. She'll give you my information to reach out to me.
Yes.
Follow me on Instagram and Facebook, and I would love to definitely connect and continue this conversation and see how I can help improve your image and create a new you in you for this year and going forward. So thank you all in advance for your time and for listening.
All right, Fashion Dolls, and I have that information posted. So you guys, please make sure you are going and checking out Unique Fashion. Support Travis, support what he's doing, and fashion also brings confidence. So what he's doing also is helping you build a confidence, not just a new you, but build your confidence up. Because when you put on a piece of clothing, it makes you feel happy. It does something to you. When you put on a dress, it makes you feel great about yourself. You find a new suit, a new pair of jeans, anything, you feel like a whole new person. New pair of shoes, whatever. Make sure that you are pouring into yourself. And fashion is a great self care method. When you
Yes.
add color to your life, it
Yes.
enhances your mood. So I wanted to close off the show with that. But joining me tomorrow, we have Lucy Tassel. So make sure you guys tune in. I will see you then, Fashion Dolls. And Travis, let everyone, well, you just gave it to them. Let
Yes.
everyone know where they can follow you, check you out. I'll have it pinned, posted.
Yes. Unique Fashion Image Consultant. That's YOUNIQUE underscore fashion image. And also my name, Travis underscore J underscore Winters on Instagram and Facebook. So thank you all so much. I appreciate you. And Happy New Year to
All right,
everyone.
guys. Yes, happy 2025. We made it. Give yourself a pat on the back. New year, new vision, new mindset, new you. And I want you guys to come into this year strong, kicking off 2025 strong. I love you all. We're going to be all right. And more
Yes.
importantly, take that time off if you need to, unplug if you need to. I love you. I want you guys to stay fabulous, shine. You are platinum. You are beyond. You are above. You are everything. So remember that, Fashion Dolls. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you guys tomorrow with Lucy Tassel. And this interview will be uploaded to Style by Stevie Daytime on YouTube, so you can catch some of the previous shows from last year, 2024, up until now, the current season, season 19. So thank you guys so much for your unconditional love, your unconditional support, your commentary, popping in. Thank you all. Just thank you, thank you, thank you. We love you, and we will see you tomorrow. Talk to you later, Fashion
Thank you.
Dolls.
God bless everyone.
You too.